When the former President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump, riled his supporters up with a series of false grievances, called them good people when they committed violence, urged them out onto the streets of the Parliament, the Congress of the United States, and encouraged them to commit acts of violence against his democracy, against the police officers, against the people who were present, violence that resulted in death. The blame was rightly placed at the feet of the man who instigated that violence that day. When he called them good people, I was reminded of a recent protest here when projectiles were thrown at the vehicle of the Honorable Prime Minister. And the Honorable Leader of the Opposition went on the public airways and praised his supporters and instead berated the police. And not one word was said about the hurling of projectiles at the Prime Minister of a sovereign nation. And that is the type of instigation that enables and empowers people. And when the crowd today went by the former Lyric Cinema and tried to burn it down, not one word was said to condemn their actions. They were good people doing the bidding of the leadership of their party that led them into the streets.
Madam Speaker, on point of order.
Yes. State the point of order.
The point of contact for the Honourable Minister of Finance is totally irrelevant to the subject matter of the Securities Bill. Mm-hmm. You have fought long and hard to get us on track to proceed with the bill because there could be responses to that. I've stood here and seen the Governor General shook down the yard already. We have had these things before. These movies have played before.
So, Your Honourable Member, your point of order is that
it's
of relevance?
It's to move on with the Securities Bill that's before us.
Okay, very well.
Absolutely.
Very well. Honourable Member, if there's a nexus?
Yes, it's a Securities Bill, and I'm talking about security. The Honourable Member for Central Kingston is not going to stand in this Parliament while the Prime Minister bleeds in a hospital and pretend that he has any moral high ground here today. He's not going to stand here and claim that he takes umbrage.
Madam Speaker, we cannot have a house in which I spoke about the threat from the Honourable Minister before.
What threat have I made there?
And now he's speaking about me, the member of Central Kingston,
yes,
being in this house.
Yes.
And intending to lay blame for what happened to the Prime Minister on me, Central Kingston. He is putting the people of St. Vincent and his political party against me and putting my life in danger.
Honourable members, two members cannot be on their feet at the same
Madam
time.
Speaker,
so I will get on mine.
I'm appealing to you.
Honourable members, I am on my feet. Have a seat, please, Honourable Member. We're not going to let this House. Honourable Member, please excuse yourself. We're not allowed to do that. All right, I understand. But let's remember where we are and why we are here. Thank you. Yes, I accept the apology. Honourable Minister of Finance.
When there is a pattern of disregarding rules, disregarding the rule of law, disregarding order, and celebrating it, and congratulating people for it, and instigating it, because members of this Honourable House, I've seen them and heard them with my own ears, instructing their supporters to pull down barricades. People talking about what happened before this House started. I asked the Honourable Member for East Kingston what he has to say about the fact that the Prime Minister's head was busted. You know what he do? He give me a shrug. No big deal. He shrugged his shoulders. But now, they want to stand here while a member of this honorable house, forget which side they're on, was attacked by a mob and is bleeding, and pretend that they have the moral high ground? Never. The honorable member for East Kingston actually said he took the high road. Has anybody exercised leadership in the wake of the escalation of events to ask their supporters to stand down? No. They must carry on. They must carry on.
Honorable member for East Kingston.
Madam Speaker, I rise on a point of order.
State your point of order.
As my colleague said a while ago, Standing Order 37, the Honorable Minister of Finance is clearly being irrelevant here. I understand the emotions that play here, but we have the people's business to take care of, and if we are debating the securities bill, let us debate the securities bill. Stevenson, just cool out. You just cool out.
Just a minute.
Sorry, honorable member, my apologies. Honorable member from South Windward, just relax.
Okay,
just relax.
Just a minute, honorable members.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members.
Madam Speaker.
We are going to proceed with the debate. And we are going to be the examples of orderly behavior. If not ever before, today, as I preside over this honorable house. I am giving the directions. Honorable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I sat here quietly while I listened to the honorable member for Central Kingston pontificate. It was related to no bill. It was nothing on an order paper. He got up and spoke. I listened on my side to the honorable member for South Central and the honorable member for North Windward. I listened on this side to the honorable member of East Kingston. So is me one can't talk? All of them stood up with nothing on an order paper. No context, nothing at all, and made all sorts of statements. But when I start to talk, is a problem? The honorable...
I rise on a point of order, please.
What is it?
I rise on a point of order, please.
Please state your point of
order.
order.
37, the Honorable Minister of Finance is being irrelevant. Can you please rule on my point of order?
Honorable member.
Is he going to go on?
We are going to proceed with the debate on the securities bill.
Thank you.
Honorable member, just a minute. Whereas I understand that everybody understands that emotions are running high, we will speak in this house with respect to everybody.
Well, please direct that to
we will speak with respect to everybody.
And I have not disrespected anyone in here.
I am saying, honorable member, that I'm speaking. And when I speak, I'm heard in silence. So that's a breach of the orders. So let us proceed with the debate on the bill. Honorable Minister of Finance.
There's nothing more germane to the business of this house than the safety and security of its members. There is nothing more critical and crucial and central to a functioning democracy, not mob rule. This parliament stands as a symbol of democracy in the face of the mob. That is why we exist. That is why we have a constitution. That is why people have rights in this country. That is why we have polls and elections. And that is why we abide by the results of those polls and elections. That is the purpose of this building. So we cannot now say, when the leader of house business, when the leader of the country, the leader of the government, a man who has given his life, agree with him or not, to governance and uplifting people in this country, is attacked by a mob instigated by the opposition, and then the opposition pretend that they are going to be Pontius Pilate and wash their hands of it.
Two speakers.
Up to now, they speak on all kind of things,
Madam Speaker,
and I hear
Speaker,
condemnation of what was done.
Statements to be a part of the record of the House. The New Democratic Party, my colleague present, nor myself, instigated any mob to any violence.
Very well.
The member...
Honorable members. Honorable
But
members.
you celebrate the roadblock revolution in this country.
Honorable
No
members.
government. I was in Grenada for the Grand Beach Accord. Prime Minister Pandey had to go through a wire fence.
Honorable members.
Airport. What you coming and talking to me? I was in
Honorable
Grenada for
members.
Grand Beach Accord. I was in the prison for the pride.
Honorable members. I'm so happy I've been getting my exercise because this is easy for me this time around. But honorable members, if we are to proceed with the important business of the House, we have to do it properly. We have to do it properly. Honorable Minister of Finance.
I am going to say before I move on this last thing. I sat here, I saw the Honourable Member for Central Kingston rise on at least 5 occasions. The Honourable Member for East Kingston rise on at least 3 occasions, and not once, and I want the record to reflect this, not once have they condemned the violence against the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All kind of spurious objections. Well, I want to say that I unreservedly condemn mob violence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in this maturing democracy, at least one side of this Honourable House will show that we believe in the maturity of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We will not instigate mobs to violence. We will not praise them when they commit acts of violence, and we will not stay silent when acts of violence are committed. It is a disgraceful and deplorable dereliction of duty that's taken place today by the opposition. This bill, Madam Speaker, is model legislation from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. It has been passed by 3 of the jurisdictions. It seeks to amend the security structure so they can have a more effective running stock exchange, create wealth in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and beyond. I hope honourable members have read it. There's nothing in this bill that is sinister, and it pales, significant as it is, it pales in the face of the transgressions that have taken place today. Assented to, encouraged, and then ignored by those who invited their supporters to the streets, turned a blind eye to violence, and shrugged their shoulders when violence took place. I remember when the Honourable Member for East Kingston was once a diplomat. In 2001, in 9/11, when planes in the United States destroyed the Twin Towers and thousands of people died. Thousands of people died. And they put a microphone in his face and asked him what he thought about it. And he said, the chickens have come home to roost. That was his response. And it seems that nothing has been learned from 2001
Madam Speaker, I rise on a point of order.
Madam Speaker, I will...
Honourable member, if the honourable member rises on a point of order, I must hear the point
the
of
statement
order.
just made by the Minister of Finance with regards to what he considers to be whatever happened back in 9/11 is totally false, and it is totally unfounded. And oh, by the way, it is irrelevant to this debate as well.
Some chickens take longer than others to reach back the roost. I wish this bill speedy passage, Madam Speaker.
Further debate?